All right, guys, welcome to the WAN show. Not the most organized one that we've ever started. I didn't even do my hair or change my shirt. And you're like wearing a firefighter shirt, which is, of course, the best Linus Tech Tips shirt of all.
You're wearing a...
I know. We both failed. We're both bad people.
Okay.
And this is a bad show.
As long as we're equally terrible.
I actually think it's a fantastic show.
It's a great show. We have tons of stuff for you guys this week.
We say that every week, but we do have a ton of stuff this week. He was just at E3, which is the Adult Entertainment Expo. Adult? No? Adult. I pretended to misunderstand and also not know how adult was spelled. Which is funny because...
Wow.
How was the trip?
It was, am I going through everything?
No.
It's a long story.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
It was, it was actually pretty good. The most surprising thing was that E3 is, like, not a press-only event. Like, nope, not at all. They have signs all over the place. Like, oh, press-only event, blah, 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 blah. And then the lineup for will call for people that bought their tickets was the longest one.
You know, it's funny because it's like CES, where it's industry blah 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 only, and you walk around and like most of the people there are just off the street.
Yeah, but there was actually a considerable amount of people that just bought their ticket. You know how at like CES you had to like at least be friends with someone?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you could just straight up buy your ticket, and a lot of people did it. Like there was some mom and her like 12-year-old kid that were just walking around.
He's probably like a prodigy game dev.
Yeah, that was weird. And like at PAX East when we went to Oculus, I was able to walk up and be like, "Hey, we're press. Can we get something?" And they were like, "Well, we don't have any interview like time slots open, but we can sit you down and run you through all the different demos and have a guy talk to you, but he just can't be on camera." We're like, "Okay, cool." E3 walk up and they're like, "No press stuff. Wait in line." It's like, this is supposed to be a press-only event, and you have no press stuff. So I had to wait in line multiple times, because I couldn't even, like, hop systems to try all the different games and stuff. But then it ended up being awesome, because I was able to, like, find Palmer in the booth and be like, "Hey, can we get an interview?" So we ended up getting, like, one of the best interviews at E3.
That's fantastic.
For Oculus, just randomly, which was great.
You guys have fun overall?
It was good. There was stuff that we don't have time to talk about, which
Are you releasing the blog video of the hotel?
I don't know. We're not sure, but I have footage and I might show it off on the after party.
I get a kick out of all the people being like, "There's no video," because I actually have a preview of the stream running on my computer right now, so...
If there is no video, then that's...
Yeah, I think it's on your side.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we jump right into our hot topics of the day. So I've got two hot topics for you that are sort of related. GTA 5 is coming to the PC. And Dead Rising 3 is coming to the PC. I mean, it's good that an exclusive franchise is moving to PC, but we have more to tell you later about why this is just the completest epic fail that it could have been worse. I don't know how much worse it could be. Okay, you go ahead. You give some topics that we're going to talk about today.
Next generation consoles are probably coming faster than we expected, and that's not surprising because the current ones are really not that strong or good at all.
Instead of calling them next gen, can we be like shampoo and call them new and improved gen?
Next gen console,
yeah,
like the Nintendo thing,
and then the next one can be new and improved next gen, and then after that it can be like redesigned packaging, which they already do. You know, where they'll have like a Modern Warfare skin on the console or whatever. Like they should just completely rip off shampoo and just do it that way.
New and enhanced formula. And then we have the maglev keyboard, because magnets, yo.
Magnets, dog. All right, so without further ado, here is the okay, I'll just press it. This is great. Someone's like, now with 30% more gen.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. All right, so our sponsors for the show today, yes, Highlander is coming. This will be the world's highest altitude terrestrial LAN party. We are collaborating with Austin Evans. We are collaborating with actually TLD Today and Tech of Tomorrow are, as far as I know, 100% coming. Paul and Kyle from Newegg might be coming. That's mostly confirmed
Might
as
be
well.
coming.
Logan from Tech Syndicate and Linus Tech Tips are putting on this event, and it is going to be bananas. Expect some great content to come out of this, and it is powered by our generous sponsors, ASUS, featuring their new ROJ. See, you got me going. ROJZ. Their new ROG series notebook, as well as Intel and Corsair. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Also, we owe our E3 sponsors one more sponsor spot here. So actually, I mean, the timing's not bad. The next week thing isn't that great because it's not next week. It was actually this week, but we're going to be doing a ton of E3 recap, and I just want to thank our sponsors, HyperX, NCIX, and wow,
Corsair.
I'm blanking. Thank you.
Corsair.
And Corsair for sending Luke there. See, he's the one who's been saying that all week.
Yup.
Whereas I've been focused on Highlander. And the fact that there's some overlap between them.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
It's like,
what am I doing? Yeah, no, that was awesome. We actually have a Nintendo recap video of like all of the games that are coming out in terms of Wii U.
is
coming in
Nintendo
about
getting their
20 minutes.
mojo back? Why don't we make that our
Dude,
first topic? Let's go.
E3 2014 was Nintendo's year.
Okay.
Like 100%. You walk into one of the halls, you see a gigantic Nintendo banner, you see completely vacant booths, and then you see no walking space at all around the Nintendo area because it's full. The press area was completely full. There was lineup queues to try every single like little station, and the non-press area was even more full. The invitational stream was insane. There was 100,000 people watching the Smash Bros. Invitational before they started playing. Like, people care. They had Best Buys around the world had Smash Bros. And people were able to go play. And there was pictures of Best Buys where there was a lineup all the way around the Best Buy and then down the street, just to be able to play.
So, for all the doom and gloom around Nintendo, and they are still losing money,
Yep.
are they at least recapturing their mojo?
I think they're recapturing their mojo. They have stuff like Smash Bros. Coming, which should have been here already.
They got Zelda coming.
They have that new Zelda announcement, which looks amazing, and that should have been here already. There's a lot of stuff that should have been here already.
Let's just make this the Nintendo segment. So let's go through all of our Nintendo stuff. So
Sure,
go ahead,
sure, yeah.
give us your thoughts. Then we'll jump into that. Nintendo has already apparently, actually no, we'll move on. Okay, whatever. Talk about Nintendo, and then I'll jump in with other stuff.
They have in the video that's coming in like 18 minutes. They have I think 11 different games, like really big, very important, very well polished games that they could probably release today because they're all playable there.
Right.
And totally smooth, no problems, fully playable. That were just amazing, and stuff from Yoshi, Toad. Mario, like main Mario sequence games. The Mario Maker game looks amazing, and I got to play with it there, and it was really good. Hyrule Warriors is polished and really fun. The Zelda game looks amazing. All of these big titles that probably should have come earlier, but I think it's going to be okay. The hype around Nintendo at E3 was insane. Like, the PlayStation and Xbox stuff was fairly populated, and stuff that you would expect to be populated, like Borderlands and like Far Cry. There was a fairly large lineup, but the lineup to play and get like hands-on interaction with Far Cry and Assassin's Creed and like Borderlands, these big titles, were not as big and not as engaged as anything at Nintendo. Including like, I can't even remember what it's called right now, but some squid game where you like run around and paint things. But it was tons of fun. It looked super stupid, but it's called Turf War.
Yeah.
And you just run around with these paint guns. And you have to like cover all the ground in paint, and it's an FPS at the same time. So you're covering your ground in paint to gain points, and whoever has the most ground covered in their color of paint at the end wins. But you can kill the other guys, and then they get a respawn timer, and they respawn in the back of their base.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was really competitive, despite how like kind of
Casual, filthy casual. Yeah.
Totally filthy casual, but it was super competitive, and that was one of the most lined up for games. Splatoon, that's what it was called.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. It's called Splatoon. But that was actually so much fun, and that I had never even heard of that before. And that was awesome. So I don't know. I'm scared.
Okay, what's your highlight from Nintendo?
Oh, Smash Bros. Smash Bros was amazing.
Smash
And
Bros?
that's
Okay.
super boring.
Now-
but it was amazing.
Neither of the people in this room gives any cares about this because neither of us ever owned a GameCube, did we?
No, but I got to play with both, and I got to talk to multiple people that were in the Smash Bros. Invitational about Smash Bros. So I have feedback on Smash Bros. And the GameCube controller and stuff. I asked the guy who won the Invitational, who was playing with me, which
Yeah.
was super cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I won.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Did he let you win? Was he a nice guy?
There was two guys from the Invitational and a like fairly high end on the competitive side employee of Nintendo for Smash Bros. And then me. And we were all playing. And the employee of Nintendo picked a super overpowered character, and the two Invitational guys were trying to fight him off because he had a super overpowered character. And I was Kirby. So I did that like you turn into a rock and smash thing, and I got multiple kills that way and then ended up winning. They weren't trying to focus me, but because they were focusing someone else, I took advantage of it and won, which is fantastic.
Nice.
But yeah, the GameCube controller, and I got to try...
Okay, you haven't actually told anyone what we're talking about. So Nintendo is releasing a GameCube controller adapter for the Wii U that will allow you to plug in 4 GameCube controllers. I think... couple of things. Number one is, why the hell hasn't everyone been doing this all along?
Yeah.
Why can't I use an Xbox 360 controller on the Xbox One if I like it better? Microsoft, what's your problem? Like, what is the problem with carrying forward and back compatibility on controllers? It's an artificially imposed limitation a lot of the time, and it just doesn't make any sense. And you know what? Even though Nintendo legitimately, justifiably can't use GameCube controllers on the Wii U, they are allowing it to happen, they are facilitating it, and they're making it reasonable.
20
bucks!
20 bucks.
20
it's
bucks.
really not even that bad.
I mean, we're talking about the price delta between a current gen controller and a last gen controller. And you're getting the adapter to use as many last gen controllers as you want. I mean, that is such a customer friendly thing to do. Just go, look, okay, you don't like classic controller, you don't like pro controller, you want to use what you're familiar with, what you like. Yes, let's give it to you. Why isn't everyone doing this?
Yeah,
So-
and you can even use like the old GameCube Wavebird wireless controllers. That's compatible with the adapter. So like they're just like, yeah, no, it works, which is fantastic. I talked to the competitive guys and I tried the GameCube controller. Again, I never had a GameCube, and that controller always felt weird. But playing Smash Bros with it felt right.
And people are pointing out the original Wii had it built in by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just pull down the flap and you can get it. But I mean, you can't have it built in forever. So I understand why they're doing it the way they're doing. I just think that Microsoft and Sony could take a page out of this book where it's giving your customers the choice. I mean, Nintendo's actually done a good job of that, even on the original Wii. So you've got your Wiimote, you've got your classic controller, you've got your nunchuck and Wiimote combo, you've got your GameCube controller. You can basically do things the way that you want, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, but my main question for them was, why not the Pro controller versus the GameCube controller? And the feedback
You mean for the players?
For the players, yes.
Yeah, okay.
The feedback from the...
I'm helping you. I'm keeping you on track here.
The feedback from the very competitive guys was the layout of the GameCube controller is faster and more efficient. And also the analog stick placement, like this is still layout, but analog stick placement is a lot better for comboing buttons. And all of that totally makes sense, and I kind of felt it while I was there.
Right.
Especially that little yellow stick.
Yeah.
You can flick that and press a button really easily.
Right.
So I totally understand why you would want a GameCube controller. And then if you don't have old GameCube controllers and you're worried about like local stores running out, they're going to be releasing like a $30 Smash Bros. GameCube controller.
Nice.
I believe that's what it is. So you'll be able to buy new ones if that's the case, or if you want to make sure your old ones are still fine, you can just buy a new one.
So for $150, you will be able to completely kit out your Wii U and GameCube controllers. That's not bad.
That's really.
And if you're willing to buy controllers used, you can do it a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah, definitely. You can get GameCube controllers pretty cheap. Although I would probably do that quickly.
Yeah, really. Before everyone catches on to this.
Yeah, before GameCube controllers just start flying off shelves everywhere. But yeah, that was a ton of fun. What else was there? I got to play Hyrule Warriors.
Yep.
And it was smooth. I was never a huge fan of what is it called, Dynasty Warriors. Never okay. I was never a huge fan because I never had it.
Right.
But like it was fun. It was fun to play. It's an interesting new IP for them, but it does seem, even with very rarely playing Dynasty Warriors, I was like, yeah, I'm playing Dynasty Warriors, but as Link or Zelda.
Right.
Which is, I don't know, it was kind of fun.
All right, let's talk about Mario Maker.
Okay.
So this was originally posted on the forum by Top War Gamer, so thank you for that. But your thoughts on it? You played around with it a little bit, right?
Yeah, really, really smooth and very fast. Extremely
Okay.
fast.
My concern with something like this is the same as my concern with any game that kind of goes, hey, we're giving you guys the reins. I like games that are designed by professional game designers. Were they allowing people to create their own levels while you were there, and were you able to play other people's levels, or
Yeah,
how was the whole experience?
I got to play levels of two of the competitive guys. I was kind of going around with them for a little while.
Sure.
And that was kind of fun because they were making absolutely ridiculous levels.
Right.
Like nigh impossible levels because they're
Okay.
competitive guys. And that was kind of fun. But even if something's ridiculous, you can jump into the editor at any point in time of any level, even levels that come stock with the game, and move your character. So if you're like, this part's dumb, you can just be like, I'm now here, and keep going. Which is actually kind of nice.
Huh.
Because one of the competitive guys accidentally made part of it impossible.
Right.
He didn't realize one of the things was going to jump onto a certain thing that it did.
Right.
So he was like, oh, okay, whatever, and just edited his character up onto the next point and then kept going. Which was actually kind of nice. And you can also live edit anything. So if you play one of the stock maps, you can live edit it. So you can like add things to make it more difficult and change things. And my biggest worry was actually something that you just brought up, other people's levels. Right now they don't have it set up so that you can actually download off of a community. But they were like, yeah, every single person pretty much who's played has suggested that.
Right.
So, not saying anything's going to happen, but yeah. And one thing that was fairly interesting about Nintendo is they had a slight indie feel the whole time, where when you go to a AAA place, it's just like game stations where you can play and PR people.
Yeah.
They had the developers for a lot of the games walking the floor, talking to people.
That's really cool.
It was really cool. Like the main guy behind Splatoon, every single time was going around to every single person that was playing and asking them what their thoughts were after the game. And like with a notepad, legitimately writing things down.
That's fantastic.
It
I
was
mean,
really
that's something that really I find differentiates one company from another one. I mean, we see the same thing at CES, where there's certain companies, you go to their booth, and it's like the president or like VP of worldwide marketing or whatever. And typically it's smaller companies, but seeing big ones behave like that is really
And
impressive.
you see it sometimes. It's not only Nintendo, but
Yeah.
it was very nice to see it at Nintendo.
No, you do see it from time to time. I mean, even at CES, we've met people. Like I met some senior director level. I actually met the CEO of WD at a party last year. Like, you do run into these people, but it's usually really difficult. And the fact that they were just there in the booth
Was actually really cool. And you'd never really know. Like, they weren't wearing shirts that were like, Dev Team. Like, they had Nintendo shirts, but they just kind of looked like average employees.
Right.
But if you recognized them, you could tell. And a lot of people didn't. So it was actually
Right.
fine. They could kind of move around freely. But it was really cool to see them picking up all that feedback. And even other employees, they were using as like proxies essentially. So those other employees would ask questions, and then I saw them like they'd meet up, and
Right.
exchange notes, and then keep going. Like they were really hardcore about getting feedback from people, which is cool. And apparently that's where the GameCube controller thing came from.
right.
So many fans demanded a different input solution for Smash Bros. When it came out, that they were like, "Hey, we'll just make this $20 little device that solves all the problems."
That's great. What a
Very cool.
great attitude.
Yeah, that was, like I said, this was Nintendo's year. They rocked E3 100%. I got some really cool, I don't know if I was supposed to take these, but the voting cards from the Nintendo Invitational.
Yes.
Did you see how that worked when they held up the cards?
No.
They were like this big, and you voted for which character should win or whatever. And it was like this book of voting cards.
You are such an embarrassment sometimes. He has no shame when it comes to swag. Like, I've been in the industry a long time, and companies will be like, "Here, do you want the swag bag at our booth?" And I'm like, "No, it's okay. I don't even have anywhere to put this
I
stuff
tried
at
to
this
take
point."
4.
And he's gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, I'll take it. Also, I'll have Linus's. Do you have any other stuff? Do you have any stuff that's just a part of your actual booth fixture, but I can just take it?"
I've tried that before. It's worked before.
You know what's funny though? And let's move on to our. Did you have anything else particularly for Nintendo? Because I've got a great segue. Here.
The other stuff would just be in the video, which is up in like 7 minutes. So
Okay.
be sure to check that out.
All right, so let's move on to, speaking of booth swag, the Designed by Razer licensing program. This was originally posted by LaForet on the Linus Tech Tips forum. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to switch over to my screen here, and oh, there it goes. That was interesting. So this is the Razer Special Edition H440. It is basically an NZXT H440, but with, what are they calling it? A Special Edition H440 for gamers by gamers.
Designed by Razer H440.
Yeah,
What is
designed.
happening?
Oh, it's probably this adapter.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Techno stream. Oh no! Stop.
Well, I'm holding it now.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so it's got like a Designed by Razer badge right here, and that's pretty cool. But truthfully, this case isn't the big news to me. The big news here is more collaboration between brands like this. I think that's a very positive thing. I mean, aesthetics are definitely a factor for me when I'm building a rig, and I think they're a factor for a lot of people, although it's hard to tell with you.
Yay.
But aesthetics are definitely a thing. I mean, as much as... You know what? We don't owe the big corporations anything. We don't have to put their logos all over our chests and all over our stuff. But if you really like what someone, and if that is a company, is doing, and you really are driven to put their branding on stuff, and that makes you feel cool, then I think stuff like this is great. They haven't changed anything, really.
No, really.
Let's be truthful about this. They put a logo on the front. They changed the color scheme. They put some lighting effects in it, but that's about it. It's still an H440, but what I like about this is the H440 is a great case. So now it's available in black and green. That's cool.
With Razer logos.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Anyway, so on to stealing things from booths. One of the ones that was in NZXT's booth, that's like an early mock-up, they're sending it here.
Oh, I thought it got stolen. I was like, I didn't take this. Don't look at me.
No, they're gonna tear it down after the show, and then they're gonna send it to us so that we
Awesome.
can, our next build guide that we film, not the one that's coming out this weekend. By the way, there's a build guide coming out this weekend. The next one that we film is gonna be a green and black themed rig
Cool.
in this case.
Cool. That'll be good.
We're gonna have a pre-production
It
one.
does look nice, and because the green LEDs are very dark,
Yeah.
and there's like the kind of blackout tint on the window a little bit,
Yeah.
it's this like deep kind of moody green, which actually looks pretty good.
I'm working on sourcing a bunch of like cool green themed stuff to put in it. So
That
gonna be...
sniper with the, I don't know what it's called, but not red line because it's green line.
Gigabyte's new boards aren't green.
What?
And this is going to be a Devil's Canyon system. So I'd rather use a Z97 board if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, bummer. So I'm planning to use a Sabertooth, just because at least it's just black.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get some green memory. We're probably going to paint memory. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm giving away too much. The next build guide in that case is going to be friggin' awesome. Speaking of Devil's Canyon, I think that leads pretty well into the Pentium K G3258. Cryptically named, but the results are looking pretty impressive. This was originally posted by The Magical Maniac on the Linus Tech Tips forum. Original article here is from BitTech. And this processor looks like the spiritual successor to the Pentium D805, which basically means we are looking at some pretty kick-ass stuff going on here. The D805 was a dual-core processor. It consumed a bunch of power, whereas this one won't. It was very, very low clocked out of the box, which this one is, but what kicked butt about the Pentium D805 was it overclocked like nuts. That thing was cheap, and it was a fantastic value. And at the time, that was Intel's response to a very competitive AMD, where Intel was basically like, okay, we have to do something, because our chips are just not worth that much right now. So they came up with the Pentium D805. They removed some features, like it didn't have all the same stuff that something like a 930, or well, what did they call them? Yeah, I think it was a 930 or something like that. Anyway, it didn't have all the same features, but it overclocked like a bat out of hell, and it was a chip of choice for gamers. This looks like it's going to be pretty much the same thing. So we've seen people reporting overclocks from 3.2 to 4.5 gigahertz. Like I said before, it is only a dual core, but in games that are not dependent on heavy heavily threaded processors with, hyper-threading and 4 or 6 or 8 cores, this thing is going to absolutely kick butt. So they're showing what kind of performance increases you can see with it. It shows what kind of performance it has. I'm seeing some reports, although it's not in this particular article, that we could be looking at similar to 4770K performance with this chip, especially in games where we're not bound by how many processing cores that we have. So looks pretty good, pretty good, pretty good.
That is actually really interesting. But I've had people.
And it does have hyper-threading, by the way. 2 cores, 2 threads. So just like a Core i3, but unlocked and overclockable.
Yeah. Okay.
What else we got? There's like everything this week. Should we talk about GTA 5 and that other game?
Sure.
That shall remain nameless.
Let's do
coming to
GTA
PC?
5 first.
All right, so this was originally posted on the Linus Tech Tips forum by Askew. Thank you for that. You're awesome.
Yay.
Shout-outs for all the people who post news on the Linus Tech Tips forum. You guys are awesome. Anyway, original article was from Eurogamer.net. GTA 5 is coming to the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and at least 2 of those 3 I think we kind of saw coming. But, yeah.
You're going to be able to transfer your online saves, which will be interesting, but I haven't heard anything on campaign transfer. This is actually kind of the reason why I quit playing. Back when I had a roommate, we had it for Xbox 360, and I stopped like pretty early in because I was like, this is an awesome game, but I'm gonna wait because I hope it'll come to PC eventually. I'm surprised it took them a year. I hope that's because they're optimizing it, because on launch GTA 4 was like completely poo. That's basically all I have to say about it. It performed terribly, but they've taken a year, and I think the platform architecture is going to be a lot more similar than last time, so hopefully that helps them as well. Apparently there will be existing, like the existing add-on content for GTA 5 will be kind of bundled in. There's going to be upgraded AI for the PC version, even compared to Xbox One and PS4, which will be really cool. They're going to have improved things like draw distances, textures, denser traffic, wildlife, upgraded weather, upgraded damage effects, and tons of other crap, which is absolutely fantastic. I hope it is extremely moddable. They're going to have a movie maker, but mods are something I am pretty interested in, because you saw like Icy Enhance. If he comes back and does GTA 5, like, please. It's amazing. You did an incredibly good job with GTA 4, but we need you again, sir. Or madame, but I'm assuming sir. Yeah, that would be great. I don't really know what else to say.
That would be great.
That'd be great. If you can just come back and do all that work, that would be great. Yeah, because like you can look at GTA 4 screenshots from that guy that look better than like any game that's released now, which is ridiculous. But yeah, that would be great. And then there's the
Dead Rising 3.
super cool announcement that turned out to be not super cool at all.
Okay, so hold on. So let's start with the good things about this. So number one is that consumers, and I encourage people to do this all the time, if you're unhappy about something, if you're all butthurt, don't give people your money. If you don't like what people are doing, don't give them your money. So I don't know why Dead Rising 3 is coming to PC. It
wasn't supposed to.
It might have something to, yeah, well, I know it wasn't supposed to. Do we have the link to it's not coming to PC? And
yeah,
then the link
way
to,
down. Way
yeah,
down.
hold on. Control F.
Dead Rising.
No, that's Control Bookmark. Stop it.
Control bookmark?
Screw you, hippie. Okay, so,
Find it?
yeah, it's not there. Whatever. Anyway, so the original story was, I mean, with GTA 5, the rumors have kind of been out there for a long time, and they've never officially denied it. They've never said, no, it's not coming to PC. With Dead Rising 3, it was not supposed to come to PC. So whether it's because Xbox One isn't selling that well, which would be, a definite sort of good job, guys, for not buying things that you're not happy with. So whether it's that or whether it's something else, whether it's, Microsoft kind of going, hey, well, we want more Xbox One content on PC because we really are committed to that. Although I really doubt it's the second one. It's a great thing to see more exclusive console franchises coming to the PC, but then they went and they just wrecked it.
One thing before we get into how they wrecked it, there's a quote saying, definitely not a timed exclusive. It's an Xbox One game. We see a lot of this online. It's not coming to PS4. or PC.
Yeah, that was like months ago.
Lol. Lol. But yeah, so they've frame capped it to 30 FPS, and they have a warning on it so that if you can take that cap off, which is nice, I guess.
I don't think you've put enough emphasis on that. They frame capped it at 30 FPS on the PC.
And like I said, you can take it off, but there's a giant warning saying, like, we're not responsible for what happens if you do this. And they fully expect the game's just going to completely break if you do that.
So the physics is actually works based on the frame rate. So it's what Need for Speed game was it?
I don't remember which one, but I was just going to say, you could double how fast your car was going by making your FPS go from 30 to 60. And, like, we're going to have these problems with Dead Rising, and that's super stupid.
How lazy is that?
Incredibly lazy. There's a quote in the Oculus video where I have an interview with Palmer where I'm talking to him about 30 FPS versus other higher frame rates, because for VR you're going to need way higher frame rates than 30 FPS, where he says 30 FPS isn't a design choice, it's a failure.
Yay!
No.
But just how lazy is it to tie your in-game physics to
I know a dev on the team too.
A frame rate.
Which is like, oh god. I'm sorry, but it's terrible. Yeah, that's really lazy. Like, I get it, but it's lazy.
I mean, we're talking stuff that we solved, like, back in the 90s. Like, problems that on the PC, we were like, oh yeah, in Goose, when I press the turbo button on my, 386, it goes too fast. Oh, I guess we better address this.
Yeah, like this was a problem for a little while with older games where they had no ability to really foresee this. Well, they could, but didn't really think about it. And then it went away for a long time, and now it's back.
It's like, why are you back?
Should not be a thing.
Why are you back?
Should
Anyway,
not be a thing at all.
I hope we see more ports. I hope we see ports that come over to the PC correctly.
I hope Durante or however you pronounce his name, fixes this, because that would be fantastic. There's so many things in the announcements of like stuff coming to PC where I'm like, I hope this one super well-known modder guy comes back and fixes everything for us. I really hope so. That would be fantastic.
I mean, the thing I like about this generation of PCs is that the way that they're built is so much more similar. Did I say PCs? Because I meant consoles. Sorry, consoles. The way that they're built is so much more similar to a PC that porting should be easier, and mostly that porting should be easier, but there are a lot of issues with it too, and I think that that's something that the console makers are very well aware of. So the original poster for this on the forum was Johners, and the original article is from Tech Radar, but that is, the headline here is, the next generation of consoles could come much sooner than expected. So, and this is from AMD. So remember, these are the guys that are making the CPU and the GPU in both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and the Wii U. I said both because I forgot there are three. I'm sorry, Nintendo, you're still cool, really.
Well, Nintendo...
We just said you won E3, I'm sorry.
They don't really get dropped onto the next console thing.
Yeah,
because they came out way before that.
30% less improved. 30% less than the next gen. Anyway.
Except their games are coming out 1080p 60 FPS.
I know, right?
So, owned.
And you know what?
Wrecked.
I think getting wrapped up in having to deliver... Okay, this is kind of funny, because we did a fast as possible on... what was it?
Refresh rates?
Nope, not that one. On Resolution.
Yeah.
Well, you were gone. So we did a fast as possible on Resolution, and I was getting sample footage of Far Cry 3 running at 720p maximum, like everything on Ultra, and 1080p with everything on minimum, to go, okay, here's an extreme example of how level of detail versus resolution affects how a game looks. And in between switching from 720p 720p maximum to 1080p not, I increased the resolution first, and then I turned all the details off. And I was like, if I pixel peep, I can tell. But if I'm not looking that close, I just got a lot of performance, and it really doesn't look that different. So I'm kind of sitting here going, like, if you tailor your art style correctly, there isn't really a good reason why you can't turn off some of the goofy effects and get a better frame rate and deliver what is, in my mind, a much more playable experience. I mean, playing something like Mario Kart
Yeah.
at 30 FPS, 900p, it's like the first thing I would tell Nintendo is like, come on, man. How are we supposed to play like that? And yet competitive gamers accept this on other consoles. Anyway,
It's actually to throw back again to the Nintendo video that just came out 9 minutes ago. In part of that, I bring up about how like Wii U's really not the most powerful platform,
no, it's really not.
but they know that, and they design the games and tailor the games for that, and the art style of the games and everything still looks great. Like, have you seen the Zelda stuff?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god, it looks really good. But then
Well,
it's because it's their style.
Yeah, it's
it makes
like
it work.
it's like the whole Blizzard thing.
Yeah.
Warcraft 3 is a very visually pleasing game.
Yep.
I mean, it's got polygons that have, like, 6 sides. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, this is a sword. Don't look too close.
But it looks good because it's a style, and
But-
they're pulling off a specific style, and it works really well.
But yes, and I'm okay with that. And with that said, I do like that we're pushing the envelope graphics wise.
But definitely, but
and
I'm more okay with that on the PC end, where we can actually have the performance to do it.
Anyway,
'Cause we're actually good.
I wonder what the backstory here is, but AMD is hinting that the console developers are even further along than we, the end users, might expect. Nintendo has apparently already clearly confirmed that they have a clear idea
They did this a few months ago.
of what the
actually.
Wii U's successor will look like.
Yep.
And I gotta wonder, like, did AMD tell these guys, yo, dog, it's maybe another $20-$30 in BOM cost, but you really need to put a better chip in these things. You need better graphics hardware in these things. Please let us build something better for you. Like, I wonder if they're just kind of sitting there laughing, going, okay, well, I guess we're
Another
back
round
for
on
another
the
round.
way. Yeah.
But it really does feel like they just screwed it up, graphics hardware wise. And like I said, we've got a really interesting video coming probably in a couple of weeks where we're going to take a look at how much more power it really takes to go from one resolution to another resolution and
Or-
deliver the same graphical fidelity.
Yeah, or from a certain frame rate to another frame rate.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. That's actually going to be pretty cool. What else we got? Should we get into one of our rapid
A
fire
bunch of different
topics?
Stuff. Sure.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. Okay, so this is, and it was originally posted on the forum by
Forum?
Nope, not a forum thread. I think I saw it on the forum actually, but whatever. This 370-inch TV costs 1.6 million US dollars, 1 million pounds. It's actually it's the Titan Zeus, and you can see in the picture here, like these are trees, There's no word on the actual image quality. It's a 4K TV. So 370 inches works out to about 8 meters wide by 5 meters tall.
Okay.
And there's only been one sold to a private owner who wants to remain anonymous that we know of so far. Although some people have seen it at film festivals and apparently they will also be showing. They'll be showing World Cup matches on it. So they are. You can find them in certain places, but other than that, this just looks like a because we can type of thing.
Even at 4K, what is the PPI of this thing?
I know. At 8 meters by 5 meters. Okay, just for you personally, let's say they cost the same. Let's say both solutions are $1,000.
Okay.
Would you want a TV or a projector? Bearing in mind, a projector is not going to perform that well in a bright environment,
Probably a projector.
but it's not in the way. Like, you can mount it somewhere else.
That's what I
guess.
mean. Because this thing is just. I'd be so worried about it getting destroyed all the time.
Right.
Like, moving that anywhere is going to be terrible. Like, they're saying they've been to different shows and stuff. The first thing that popped in my mind is like how intricate the shipping process must have been.
Right. Yeah.
Because holy crap! And then it's a projector. You can just throw it in a box. It's like, okay, cool. At that size, I would probably go for a projector. And because I don't know, like you can even see there, it's kind of black around the TV. You're probably if where are you gonna put this in a house? And if it's outside, it's probably gonna be at night.
8 meters by 5 meters. I'm just trying to think, where would you put this in a house? Like, that's
Although if you're buying $1 million TV, maybe you can put this in a house.
Right. Yeah, that's really big. I mean, 8 meters, that's like 25 feet. I guess you could, like, you would have to build a room for it.
Yeah, but then again, at $1 million, you could probably just build
Even
a
like
room.
a baller house where there's like, you know, a basketball court. We're talking like you're converting your basketball court.
It's kind of a big deal, actually. But then at $1 million, you're kind of probably a big deal. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
Or
guess
the son
so.
of a big deal. Either way.
Ghost
11
Ghost says it's 11.91 pixels per inch, which is sort of terrible.
It's really not good.
I mean, you're gonna have to sit like drive-in theater distance away from
Yeah,
the
so
stupid
that
thing
makes
anyway.
that room a lot more difficult to set up.
I mean, at a certain point, and I think that this point really is 55 inches. At a certain point, does a bigger TV even make any sense, or are you better off just sitting closer to a smaller TV?
You have to wonder about room design. Like in some houses, it's going to be pretty far throw distance.
Yeah,
What's the proper throw distance for 55-inch TV?
I can't remember. Is this retina.com has sort of a measurement of
Yeah.
of what pixel densities will look like, what will look like retina from certain distances, but 55 is pretty big for
Yeah.
a reasonable size room.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you could probably you could push 60, 70 for something like more like a home theater, like media room. But even then, like, you'd probably want to go projector because you're going to build a proper media room at that point anyway, and then you can throw like a nice 100-inch or whatever else, and you can do it on the cheap. You can do it for a few grand.
And if you're building a media room, you can probably control the lighting.
Yes.
So it's probably fine.
And I would spend my $1 million on like the most badass seating
Yeah.
instead, like with like poop
Yeah.
holes built into each seat, so you never have to move. And like, well, no. Okay, look. So the way it would work is you'd have a constant suction from somewhere outside of the room, so that the smell of the poo would never actually reach the other people. And then what you could do is you could turn the suction off so that your butt doesn't get cold the entire time that you're sitting there.
You have heated seats. as
Genius, right?
well. Yeah.
The best idea ever.
No.
But so was that like a you're a loser?
Yeah. Have you seen the Rocket video that I released? Of
I
the
haven't
wireless
watched it
keyboard?
yet. I'm familiar with the keyboard though.
Yeah, it is actually pretty interesting, and I've seen quite because the main reason why I wanted to do that video is so many people ask about wireless keyboards, and as it's not technically just a wireless keyboard,
This is
it's still an
great.
interesting
Sorry,
solution.
someone just posted in Twitch chat. He put thought into this? No. That was off the top of my head. Thank you though. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow.
Johnny says, "Why are we watching this?"
Little do we know, go into Linus's house. There's this like in a dark room. There's this blue schematic up on the wall.
I have like all these whiteboards.
Yeah. What if this would work? We can apply suction in exactly this way. If we wire the pipes together, we can just have one big vacuum.
That's terrible. Sorry, tell me about the rocket thing. Yeah, it's wireless. It's mechanical.
It's pretty cool. My biggest worry was that like it has a built-in mouse pad and built-in wrist rest.
Yes.
And those are just gonna get insta-destroyed.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be modular. You're supposed to be able to replace them. I hope that it's not like this crazy proprietary, insanely expensive solution in terms of modularity.
Yeah, it probably is.
Probably is.
But yeah, so I mean, it looks pretty cool. It's like a desk keyboard mouse pad thing that's designed to bring gaming to the couch.
Better than most other desk keyboard mousepad things that I've seen before, other than potentially the Couchmaster, but then that's like a...
The Couchmaster's bulky.
Yeah.
The Couchmaster is multiple pieces, so it's really not that elegant.
It's a very different solution, though, from this one.
Yeah.
So it's good in certain situations, but it's giant, so I don't know. It's up to you.
All right. I was just thinking. I was like, oh, we should game tonight for after party, but the wife and kid. My wife gets off early, so, and then I didn't see the baby yesterday, so. I guess speaking of the baby, I gotta feed him somehow. So here come our sponsors. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so first up, that's PAX. What am I doing?
Oh.
Like,
Yeah! We got there.
all right, I'm gonna let you thank the E3 sponsors.
Thank you to HyperX. They brought us down to their whole HyperX offices, and we got to do an office tour, and
Yeah, was
that was
that pretty
actually
cool?
That was. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I don't watch your videos.
There was. They have a 5v5 gaming LAN room set up
Okay, I saw that part of
with
it.
like
I skimmed.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that.
Oh man.
Those chairs, man.
Oh my. Oh, and they're really comfortable chairs. I got to sit in one for a little while. That was really cool. Right off camera in the gaming LAN room, they have a constantly stocked Monster fridge full of Monster energy drinks.
Hold on, I have a correction, by the way. Back to that Pentium K Anniversary Edition. It is 2 cores, 2 threads. No hyper-threading. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Just saw that in the dog.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That helped me because I hadn't slept. When I was filming those Kingston videos, all 3 of the Kingston videos, I changed shirts so it looked like different days, but it was all within the same little bit of
Such a dork.
But it was in a range of like 30 to 34 hours that I had been awake for filming those videos. So we walk into the LAN room and there's a Monster fridge and I'm like,
You know what's hilarious is I actually got a message from Kingston that specifically said, yeah, it's amazing how your team was great. They were super awesome. They were really professional, especially considering how little sleep they had. So thanks to Kingston for sending us down there. Also, huge thanks to Corsair and NCIX for sending us down there. Corsair specifically wants us to highlight the heck out of their new RGB keyboards, which of course they don't have to tell us to do.
No, we've done that a lot.
Because we heart the RGB keyboards all the way.
So
and then NCIX asked us to specifically call out what a great value we think that buying a gaming rig from NCIX is. And I think we can both get on board that because compared to
$50.
Compared to buying a boutique rig or compared to building it yourself, there's a compelling value here because you get all the parts for the same price as it would cost to buy them off the shelf or online from some other retailer. They do price match, so you literally can get them for the same price as another retailer. Then they assemble it for you for $50. And that $50 includes a 1-year return to depot warranty that includes troubleshooting and North American tech support.
I
not
personally
outsourced tech
know
support
people
for your system. So
yeah. I personally know people that are actually really good at building computers that are just way too lazy and have paid the $50.
yeah, and they
straight up.
and they do a pretty good job.
I don't.
You know, it's not like old school Voodoo PC origami cabling. It isn't. They're not individually sleeving every wire. That's not what you're getting. What you're getting is a professionally installed computer that is $50. So like,
it's actually not that bad. When I was first told, I used to build computers for people for like I think it was like 75, and then I heard NTX was doing it for 50, and I was like, oh. I really hope this doesn't get out.
All right, so our next sponsor call out, and this one is a huge deal. This time next week, I will be getting ready to get on a plane and go climb the second highest mountain in the lower 48.
Wait, are we having a WAN show next week?
Yeah, there will be a WAN show.
You said this time next week.
I'll be getting ready. Yeah.
On a WAN show?
Well, ready-ish.
Are we streaming?
Oh, just
ready?
calm down. Anyway, there's WAN show next week, so we're gonna be preparing to hike Mount Elbert with a huge group, hopefully huge. People just they gotta confirm and get their tickets booked. But Austin Evans has his ticket booked. He's coming. Logan from Tech Syndicate is co-hosting the event with us, so this is a 100% collaborative project between Linus Tech Tips and Tech Syndicate. So they're going to have Kane there from their team. They're going to have...
How many times should we ask Kane about his glasses on camera?
0. All right, so the Tech Syndicate team's going to be there. Paul and Kyle from Newegg might be there, and then TLD today and Tech of Tomorrow, so Jonathan and Elric are like pretty much 100% going to be there. So it's going to be an all-star cast of guys going up and having a LAN at the top of the mountain peak. It's going to be friggin' awesome. And ASUS is making this possible with their... I don't want to say too much about it because I don't know how much information's out there, but with a really cool gaming notebook.
Some people know... I'm not... No.
Yeah, let's just leave it for now because I'm not 100% sure.
Yep.
So really cool gaming notebook. Intel is in on the action as well. So these will be Core i7 powered gaming notebooks. And finally, Corsair is making us hike to the top of a mountain carrying RGB keyboards. We're very thankful to Corsair for being involved in making this event possible. But I really wish I didn't have to carry a mechanical keyboard with an aluminum backplate up a mountain. But it's going to be awesome, guys. There's going to be some great content coming out of this, some collabs, some vlogs, so be excited for that, and a huge thanks to those guys.
Someone in the chat just said, hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
You know
Welcome to the world's highest LAN party.
When this is the first time that I've like formally met Lou or Austin.
Oh, yeah,
I met
E3,
them
right?
down at E3,
Yeah.
And I was like semi-disappointed that right when I walked up, Austin wasn't like, hey, guys. I was really hoping that was going to happen.
Oh, I love trolling him about that. It's so fun. So fun. The video that he posted on his channel from CES with him, Dimitri from Hardware Canucks, I think it was, me, and MKBHD.
Yeah.
He like wanted everyone to introduce themselves, and I'm like, "Hey guys, it's me, Linus from Linus Tech Tips," and Austin's just like, "No."
That's great.
He's a good guy. I'm really looking forward to this trip. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. That was awesome. Did you know that we posted a video on Lou's channel?
No?
Nick, myself, Brandon, Austin, we're all in a video on Lou's channel.
Oh, that's cool.
It's we got to check out the possibly a prototype. Like, they're using it for case manufacturing iPhone 6.
Ooh.
Yeah. And he dropped it on the table while already filming. And we're all just like, what? What is this? And he, like, told us what it was on film. And then we have all first impressions and everything. It's fairly
Lou is such a badass.
How does he get this stuff?
He is a badass. That's all there is to say about it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to say. Lou's a badass. I really wanted him to come to the Highlander event, and he really wanted to come. But it just didn't work out this time. But, guys, don't be surprised to see some kind of collaborative effort between Linus Tech Tips and Unbox Therapy sometime to kind of make up for that to each other, because we owe each other to hang out. I think Lou was pretty disappointed when he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, do you want to get together? Blah, blah, blah. You guys are at E3? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not actually there. My guys are there, but I'm not." And he's just like,
Okay. And then we ended up going to a dinner and a lunch with him. So Brandon, Nick, and I have met Lou more times than you have, I think.
I have had... I don't know if I've had more meals with him than you, actually. Because I bailed on him at CES because I had to go to, like, AMD's party, and they paid our way for that 2 days. They covered our hotel and everything. And if I didn't show up at that party, I was going to be like a really bad person. And I bailed on Lou and Lamar Wilson, and who else was there for that?
Yeah, I got to meet Lamar Wilson as well.
Yeah. I suck. I'm a bad person. Speaking of things that suck, this product really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I wouldn't say it sucks. I think it's a cool idea. The original article is on Hexus, and this is Philips's virtually seamless 2-in-1 monitor. So they showed this off at Computex, and what they've basically done is they've put two ultra-thin bezel 19-inch display panels on a single stand, and they allow them to be rotated up to 22.5 degrees. This one a Computex Gold Award for Outstanding Innovation, which was a little bit confusing to me because Samsung had their MDX series, which allowed you to have 3 or 6 panels off of a single stand quite a while back, and I'm pretty sure that, monitor stands have been doing this for a while, but the innovation here is the virtual seamlessness between the monitors. The one thing that I really question about it, and sort of why I segued into this with speaking of sucks, is the one thing I question here is what is the value here compared to a 21:9 monitor? Which
Are these
no bezel.
individually able to be rotated?
Yes.
If you can flip one completely over, I might understand it for office situations.
Flip it over? No, not like that. Like you
can't?
can move them a bit.
Oh, not that.
Yeah, so compared to just a completely flat monitor, I guess it's nice to have them angled in at you a little bit. But for this product to be a success, I would have to see it be very inexpensive. I would have to see it be targeted at business users who are typically buying, whatever that Acer one that we really like with the slim bezel. Who are typically buying something like that and putting them next to each other. If you're going to save me a few millimeters of bezel space, I don't expect to pay a massive premium for it. So that's my sort of take on that, I guess.
I've seen, because when I first saw this, which was not that long ago, I assumed that you could take one of them and flip it over, because I've seen that be pretty interesting in office situations, because if someone's sitting on the other side of the desk,
right, and you want to show them something,
puts me on that monitor, flip it over, it'll autocorrect when it gets to the other side and they can see it, and that's actually kind of cool, but then I guess not. So.
All right, so moving on to Darfon's Maglev keyboard. You want to cover this? You're the keyboard dork.
I'm just but I'm not really that interested.
I know. I cover things I'm not interested in all the time.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Every time I talk, well, then say it's not a good idea. That's what this show is.
Because
it's the weekly analysis and news show. Analyze. Can't spell analyze without anal.
Okay, so it's blah 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 blah. You can this will hopefully be able to get reduction in thickness in notebooks because you don't need as much space for the keys.
Yeah, for like the plastic junk that goes in there.
Yeah. And they're using magnetic levitation to keep the keys in a raised position, which already sounds potentially not good. It's I don't that's about it. I'm worried about the magnetic levitation thing because you can throw off magnets with minor impacts, and it's in a laptop.
That's true. That's a good
So
point.
if it bumps around too much and stuff, like a lot of people are throwing SSDs in laptops now and then not treating them as carefully as they did when they used to have hard drives in them.
Right.
Because the big problem with tossing your notebook around used to be the hard drive.
Yep.
If you throw magnets in there, impacts could be an issue. Another thing is the depth is not very high.
Which
and
is the whole point. They're
Yeah.
trying to slim it down more.
But the whole point is that that's going to suck because if you've ever tried typing on a completely flat surface, that's terrible.
Speaking of Surface, I see this being very applicable for something like Microsoft Surface.
Yeah, I could see that.
Something like a type cover could
Yeah.
benefit from this, where thinness is the priority, not the tactile feedback.
Yeah.
But it looks like initial impressions of this are that the travel distance isn't long enough, and then I don't really see there being any benefit on something like a
Going
more
over just a straight up touch.
like a more normal sized notebook.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
This is fairly large.
where you have room
Yeah.
for a larger design.
Or this one. This
Yeah.
is yeah. There you go. I don't know. It's just it's gonna be a bad typing experience, and if you just went for like a capacitive touch, which is gonna feel worse, but if thickness is the priority,
I've typed. Did you ever type on the touch cover for the original
one,
Surface?
it was terrible.
Yeah,
But it was really thin.
and I mean, yeah.
Like this, I don't think this is gonna be a great experience. Is it gonna be enough to be? Because it's probably gonna be thicker than a capacitive type.
Oh yeah, for sure. It'll be thicker than that.
So you're going thicker. You're sacrificing that thinness for a slightly better experience, which is still not a good experience.
Well, you haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm making assumptions to be 100% honest, but I don't think it's going to be a very good typing experience. I don't know. It's interesting because it's new technology, although I don't really think it's going to be a huge thing personally.
All right, so let's move on to something that I'm extremely butthurt about. This isn't the kind of thing.
Stupid.
This isn't the kind of thing that we normally cover on this show, like, oh, Google changed one feature or Apple added one thing to their. You know what? This is so ridiculous. Google is doing away with the ability to add a calendar invitation to an email. I use this every single day.
We use this a lot.
It is so handy. So in the old days, and like, okay, anyway, in the old days, all you had to do was within an email, click add calendar invitation. It pops up a little box, and anyone else who gets that email can say yes, no, maybe, and it automatically adds that event to your own calendar so that you don't have to go over to your calendar, set it up, find a shareable link to it, go back to your email, and send it to someone. And the reason they're doing away with it is because spammers are using it to send calendar invitations to people. Okay.
Why do we care?
So what? We're gonna cancel email because spammers are using it to send unwanted messages to people? You don't have to accept the invitation.
Super dumb. Super not impressed. We actually do use this a lot. And the thing is, it's not just internally. We do use a lot internally, but I'll get messages from people that we're working with calendar invites. This is going to get super annoying. Like, why take it out?
It's like they don't want me to use Gmail.
Google's been doing a lot of weird crap lately.
So mad. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? We're business users. Like, if you're going to take it away, fine. Take it away from the free accounts or something. And then
Even then, though.
if we're talking paid accounts, then I don't think you're going to have an issue with people abusing it because there's not going to be that many to filter through and find out who's abusing it, right? Whereas business users need this kind of thing. Anything that saves a little bit of time is enough
It's a
to
big
convince
deal.
me to change platforms.
Yeah.
And taking integration away rather than building it up is infuriating. So I'm mad. I'm making sure you guys all know that I'm mad, and I guess that's all I really have to say about it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's really not that much else to say about it. Happy topic, SwiftKey?
Yeah, SwiftKey's free now, dog.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
That's
posted
actually
this on
kinda cool.
Facebook, and it was basically like, SwiftKey's free, go get it, please. This was posted originally on the forum by Top War Gamer. Thank you very much for posting that. Basically, don't feel bad if you paid, though. You get 10 free skins. So you get like a 10 pack of cool looking skins for your keyboard. So I went and cashed that in right away. In fact, you know, it's funny because normally I don't really give a crap about skins or free perks or whatever for software that I have. But SwiftKey, I was on that.
Yeah.
And everyone at NCIX today, because we've all got SwiftKey, I was
Yeah,
like, did you get your packs? They're like, yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And like when I first heard about this, I didn't know about the theme packs and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, damn, I bought that not that long ago. And I was semi disappointed. And then I talked to this guy, and he's like, free theme packs. And I'm like, awesome.
They handled it really well. And I mean, you
Yeah.
know what? Even if I did pay for it and now it's free, I still don't feel bad about it. I got my money's
I like
worth.
SwiftKey.
It
was
tells
worth
me
it either
tells
way.
me how many hundreds of thousands of keystrokes I've saved. You know,
Yeah.
there's still something I really wish they would address, and that's when it autocorrects something and you don't like it. When you backspace, it really needs to revert.
Yeah.
Like, please, someone at SwiftKey,
Feels awkward.
can you please just go fix that?
Yeah.
That's the one thing that the Google keyboard does way better than SwiftKey.
When I got Moto X again, I was on Google Keyboard for a little while, and there are a few things like that I like about it.
Yeah.
But overall, after using it for like a week or so, you're like, yeah, I just need SwiftKey again.
every time I do a phone review, like I'm working on the G3 right now.
Yeah.
So every time I do a phone review, I try to use that vendor's stock keyboard for a bit, and it's like a fiasco every time. I'm just like, no, forget it.
Can you leak some thoughts? I'm interested.
I really like the visual. It's off right now. Sorry. The camera's great. I really like the visual style of their latest skin. Some of the navigation of their skin definitely needs some work. I really liked Sony's skin. I really like HTC's. I'm not a huge fan of Samsung's.
Yeah.
And so far, I would say this falls on the not a fan of it side of being a fan.
Yeah.
But I haven't spent much time with it.
And you can turn some things off. That's what I noticed with the G2.
I've only been switched to it for like a day and a half.
Oh, so it's
actually,
totally not.
And there's definitely some cool stuff already. Like HTC copied the whole double touch to turn the screen on thing.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Like hardcore copied it.
Yeah.
Well, LG upped the ante this time because now you can do a code. So instead of, because double tapping, I find I accidentally activate it all the time. Whereas now you can knock a code into the phone, and it'll only unlock if you do it a specific way. I think that's really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
So there's little stuff that I really like so far. But guys, stay tuned for the full review. Also, I'm going to be working on the Pad phone soon.
Oh, interesting.
Pad phone X. So that's that phone tablet hybrid thing. You can pull that out of the box if you
What
want.
are your thoughts? Because I'm a huge fan of the back buttons, but what are your thoughts on the back buttons?
Back buttons, I like them so far. It's still very disconcerting because I've only been switched to it for a little while.
Yeah.
But this is the coolest thing about it. Check this out.
I was gonna say, is that a North American
Okay.
phone?
Blast from the past, guys. Antennas.
Well, is that a North American phone? 'Cause
No,
that's
it's not.
Yeah.
This is a Korean phone. It's for TV.
Yeah.
But I got a kick out of it. You know, it's funny because I don't understand why they don't just put it on the North American model. Because sometimes your reception is a little bit borderline, and I can't imagine it would hurt to have an external antenna.
Nope.
Like, I don't know why they're afraid to put it on. People don't have to take it out. Just have it on there. And it's so small and light. Anyway, this is the Pad Phone X. Not that impressed with the somewhat
thick.
bulkiness of it so far. Am that impressed with the seamlessness of turning it into a tablet, and it's not powered on right now, but yeah, with the seamlessness of turning it into a tablet, and with the fact that it's going to be priced similarly to what would normally just be a standard phone. So stay tuned for that review as well. This one, between the fact that it has wireless charging and the fact that it converts to a tablet, may win me over from the 1M8. So we'll see.
It's not annoying when you hold it this way to have the phone, because
And
you can actually use the bottom of the phone thing to like hold on to the tablet.
And it's got a solid hardware spec, so it may win me over. We'll see.
Interesting.
No guarantees on that one. All right. Oh, speaking of Nintendo, this was originally posted on the forum by Rafi, and it's not actually related to Nintendo, but it's Microsoft trying to take feedback from their users.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, and I'm not going to generalize about Xbox users, but unfortunately, some of the top voted ideas are just stupid. But basically, the site xbox.uservoice.com allows you to go and suggest things to the Xbox team, vote on other people's suggestions, and just generally, Microsoft, I guess they've just kind of given up. They're like, we don't know what to do, so help us help you. And I'm glad. That's the right way to do it. Good job, Microsoft. So I just want to give them a big thumbs up because I think we were beating them up a little bit earlier on the show.
What are some of the high-rated terrible comments?
Oh, this one with like 5,000 thumbs up is oh, we want Xbox 360 game backwards compatibility, and that's like the top upvoted suggestion with like 5,000 thumbs up, and I'm just kind of sitting here going like, are you stupid? Like, do you really think Microsoft didn't think of that? If that was a possibility, like, do you think they didn't think of that? We're talking emulating a console that is emulating a console on a completely different architecture that's not, 2 or 3 generations ago. It's a stupid suggestion. Like, the games would have to be ported straight up. And then you could make them available in the arcade or something. And is Microsoft really going to run around and ask every game developer to port all their games and put them in the market? Like, no. It's like, yeah, I get that that's what you want, but you have to focus on things that are real. I mean, backwards compatibility for gaming consoles was never really a thing. It happened, once? With the PS2 being backwards compatible with the PS1. The PS3 had it initially, but then it went away.
Can you play Xbox games on Xbox 360?
Some. It was
a lot.
It was a scattershot thing though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you go back before. It's not like the SNES could play NES games until way later, and you got this weird cartridge.
Thing.
Sorry?
The adapter cartridge
thing?
Yeah.
So you could get like weird adapter cartridges, but even then, not all the games worked. Like it's never really been yes, this is a thing. We're 100% on board this. You're going to be able to play all your old games on your new consoles.
You can play Wii games on Wii U as well.
Yes, you can. But I'm just saying, it's not something that is all over the place.
People are saying GameCube games on Wii. I didn't know you could do that. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it's the small discs. You just load them in the same way. Yeah, you just aim. Yeah, like it happens. I'm just saying.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I'm just trying to give examples because people are freaking out in the chat.
It's something where it's not if it's not fundamentally built into it, or the architecture isn't somehow similar, it's just not going to happen. I mean, the Wii was a lot more powerful than the GameCube, which helps a lot. The something like the Super Nintendo was so much more powerful than the NES that we're talking about using all that extra power to emulate something or however it needs to be implemented. With the Xbox One versus the Xbox 360, they're not similar enough, and the power difference is not enough. I mean, even PCs are having trouble emulating Xbox 360 games. That's very difficult.
Just emulation's weird. That's why.
Emulation's weird, and the truth of the matter is that even someone like Microsoft has to ultimately emulate an older console. Unless they do what Sony did with the early PS3s, where they're just putting an emotion chip in it, and we saw how much that cost and how they bailed on that. Like, what was it, months later?
Yeah.
Those early PlayStation 3s though
are worth a lot.
Worth a lot of money
because you can install Linux on them, and you can run them as like servers and stuff, and you can emulate old games, and they're actually legitimately valuable.
People are like, backwards compatibility is just a number. And I've got people in the Twitch chat pointing out that the PC has excellent backwards compatibility. Yes, it does.
It's amazing backwards compatibility.
Whereas consoles, it's just like random. It's like, oh.
Try putting a NES cartridge into a Wii U. Another thing, Microsoft announcement that I don't know if is in the doc is the Halo Master Chief Edition. Did you hear about that at all? Halo Master. I don't think it's in the doc.
Halo, yeah. I heard about that. So we're getting a re-released Halos
Halo
1, 2, 3, and 4.
The numbered ones with Master Chief in it, not the offshoots like ODST or Reach.
Right.
It's interesting. They're doing some cool things with it. Like the remastered screenshots actually look really good.
Right.
They're not changing the mechanics.
And Halo 2 multiplayer is coming back, which
Halo
is pretty
2
cool.
multiplayer is coming back. Halo 1 multiplayer will exist on consoles. We have to specify on consoles because we were playing that like last week
Yeah.
on PC. But it will exist on consoles.
Yay, PC backwards compatibility! Woo! It actually
Yay.
runs better.
Yeah, it really does. And they're not gonna like quote unquote fix things. So like the pistol in Halo 1 is still gonna be massively overpowered, which is great. They'll have they'll have a few interesting matchmaking modes, like one where it's just all random. So it'll just queue you, and it'll like put your lobby and be like, okay, you're gonna play Halo 2 on this map.
Nice.
And
That's
it'll
cool.
just launch that game, and it can bounce around in between the games really well. Apparently, it's supposed to have seamless loading between games if you're going through campaign. So if you finish Halo 1, it'll just be like, whoop, you're now on first mission Halo 2.
Nice.
And it just flows right through.
Nice.
There's some interesting things.
So just like when Arrested Development relaunched with all the episodes at once and nobody slept, it's gonna be about like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it would be interesting to play through all the campaigns and stuff back to back. But like, I don't see this selling Xbox Ones either.
I do.
Yeah?
100%. Yeah.
I wouldn't buy an Xbox One for it, personally. Because if I had all these games, I could just go back and play them, and the remastered thing is cool. Being able to play online would
You've
be
bought
cool.
remastered games before.
Yeah, but I haven't bought a console to buy the remastered game. You know what I mean? I have
Okay.
definitely bought remastered games. I actually do like remastered games. I have
Yep.
I actually really like that they remastered Halo 1 and 2.
I've bought remastered games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could actually see this selling a console for is like Halo 2 multiplayer. Because remember how big of a deal that was when they closed that down?
Yep.
The guys that were like refusing to shut down their consoles and people were like shipping them fans and stuff to keep their consoles running. Like, yeah, shutting down the Halo 2 multiplayer servers was not a very clean cut decision. So I think people are gonna be stoked that those are back.
I'd love to see them do this bundle on the PC. If they ask
Yeah.
for $60, $75 for it on the PC,
Cool.
I'll pay for it.
I don't care.
100%.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Preferably on Steam. That would be great.
Yep. No games for Windows Live.
Woo! Gets better and better all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, someone just said Luke underestimates the nostalgia of Halo 2 multiplayer. Yeah, I just had that realization.
Yeah.
It'll probably sell consoles.
This'll
Halo
sell
2
consoles.
multiplayer was I played Halo 2 multiplayer so much. Ridiculous. So yeah. It's a good point.
Speaking of new gen consoles, let's talk old gen consoles for a second. I don't even know if this is really news, but apparently Titanfall runs at 600p at 46 FPS on the Xbox 360. So someone used a capture device in order to find out how many frames it was actually rendering. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I was wondering it would be kind of an interesting setup, but it would be kind of fun to like benchmark consoles every once in a while.
Yeah, because you
like,
can feel them chug. You can feel them not run at 30 or 60
yeah,
FPS
because
at
they
times.
make these claims, and I'm like, well, it's not going to be a constant FPS anyways. So when you're claiming this like craptastic resolution and craptastic FPS, is that like when you're staring at the floor? Because who knows?
No, in theory, that's the lowest dip.
Right.
in
But
theory.
there's no way.
All right, so this was originally posted on the forum by Dazed Cobra 42, and this is something that some people think is no big deal, other people think is a huge deal, and that is that Comcast is converting 50,000 home routers in Houston into public Wi-Fi hotspots. So basically, it'll only work if you're using your Comcast wireless router modem combo unit, and whoever's accessing your router will not be able to use up your data plan or see your home network, but the idea is they want to turn it into citywide Wi-Fi hotspots for their customers. Apparently, this is already a thing in other countries, and I've seen posts in the thread on our forum where people are pretty positive about the idea and how it works. But one drawback that I can see is that unless they're somehow managing the connection with magic to ensure that my ping times in my game don't get increased because someone is walking by, torrenting on the sidewalk outside of my house, if they can find a way that doesn't happen and they can't access my network and they can't utilize any of my monthly bandwidth limitation, then I guess I don't care.
I don't think any of those things are going to happen.
And you can opt out.
Okay.
You can
a lot
opt
of people
out,
aren't going to know this is a thing.
but most people won't notice
Yeah.
at all. So,
This is super dumb. Because it's not going to affect your bill.
yeah.
but it's going to affect your availability.
But think about this, okay? So as a Shaw customer or TELUS customer or whatever you have at your place, you're on TELUS, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as a TELUS customer, if you could, here, great example. Let's say E3 wasn't in, let's say it wasn't in LA. Let's say it was in Toronto. I guess Toronto's a bad example. They don't have TELUS there. Okay, whatever. The point is, what if E3 was in Vancouver? So you're out of your house, you want to upload a video, and public Wi-Fi is crap.
So it was.
What? I'm sorry?
It was.
Yes.
Public Wi-Fi was 100%.
So let's say public Wi-Fi was crap. Let's say you're a TELUS customer, and all you have to do is walk down the street, wait to find another house that has a TELUS customer in it, beep, beep, boop, and you've got a solid internet connection.
Where I can upload videos and destroy their connection.
Okay, I didn't...
Like, destroy
Hold
it.
on. I said, how would you feel about being the person who has access to Wi-Fi hotspots everywhere?
I would feel good, and I would destroy that kid's internet who's just trying to play a video game. Because that's why the public Wi-Fi there was terrible. Everyone was just trying to upload stuff the whole time, and it was bad. I have a screenshot on Twitter of our, estimated upload time 20,000 minutes from our hotel, because the internet was just like, nope. So yeah, your bill isn't going to be worse. The integrity of your data is probably not going to be harmed. The availability of things online is probably going to have an issue, and that's not okay, in my opinion.
So Steph says, the Comcast thing has been around in Belgium for almost a decade. It has a 4-user limitation and shaped traffic.
Okay, well those are things I didn't know about.
Okay, but this is in Belgium. This is not Comcast. Comcast might implement it however they implement it, but there's a precedent for this. Oh, and apparently it's nationwide. Currently available for business class customers. Now it's going to residential. So there you go.
Interesting.
I mean, as long as it doesn't affect it, I am pretty happy about it.
If I'm on one of these things and it's available to me and I'm ever near someone's house, I'm just gonna wreck their connection.
Unless it's shaped or throttled so that you can't destroy it.
But then it's not gonna be that helpful.
Unless all you need to do is find a. But then you should be using your cell phone if you're just looking up a map or whatever. Okay, well, let's say your cell phone's out of battery, but you happen to have your laptop.
And no USB cables.
And no USB and no USB cables.
And no battery banks.
Whatever, screw you. Let's do a Twitter blitz. Let's let you guys tell us what you think of this. Are you okay with your ISP allowing other people to use your connection as long as... And this is, I guess this
they
is another thing.
They should use their quadrillions of dollars and just set up proper public Wi-Fi.
Okay, this is another thing that really bothers me. Remember when that story broke about the back doors that were built into all these routers? So if
they're saying the integrity thing, they're not going to be able to see your network. Someone's going to figure it out. So
if it was bulletproof, then it's fine. Like if we were talking like two separate, firmwares running on like two separate storage devices on the router. And they're sharing
two ends.
Sharing physical resources, but otherwise a completely different set of software, then I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, fine, go for it. If we're talking about somehow this can be exploited, I'm a little
sure, and there's got to be something in terms of data sniffing, because you're going on the same line.
I don't know.
I don't know enough about that, but when you're on a different network, because I'm not sure how they're splitting it, which is part of the problem.
So Stefan says, connection is entirely separated from yours, data plan wise, also bandwidth. It's not necessarily, I don't know if they can necessarily do that.
Not probably enough.
Right.
Because they're shaping it or whatever, but is it giving 100% priority to the person in the house? 100%? Because we utilize our data connection here at Linux Media Group a lot. So if this happened to our router and we somehow didn't turn off the option thing, if we didn't opt out, we would instantly opt out. But if we didn't, we would possibly have issues if they had any percentage of the connection.
Right.
Because we're in Canada, we don't have that great of internet, and we really utilize our internet connection. That's another thing. If you have a crazy pipe going to that house, maybe it's not as big of a deal.
Alakan is saying that on Tech Syndicate they were talking about Comcast using your electricity for this. Yeah, I get it, but it seems pretty negligible.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They are.
It's not right, and it's not right. but it's not the kind of thing that I would probably lodge a complaint with my local representative about.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, we got 36 responses now. But
They should just have public router. Yeah, exactly. They should be doing this infrastructure on their own. They shouldn't be utilizing other customers.
right.
Nothing is bulletproof when it comes to networking. Again, I don't know how you're gonna do it. Someone's gonna figure out some way.
Wait, where'd you get that?
Up a little bit.
Oh yeah, nothing is bulletproof when it comes to networking.
That's
Yep.
a very important point.
Sam says ISPs need to become less intrusive. Give us a good service and shut up. We don't get the water company calling us offering better water. You know what, Sam? That is a retweet right there. That is the first time we have ever taken something on the WAN show and it has been so bang on that we have to tweet it immediately.
That was really good.
They need to
It's funny
act
that he
like
commented
utility
on water,
companies.
and his last name is really close to fluoride. Good.
No, I don't care.
Good look.
I'm not looking at it.
Go
No,
look.
fine. That's not that close to
It's not
fluoride.
close at all. I thought it was closer. Anyways.
You should test your XPS 12 for image burn-in issue. The image burn-in issue is terrible on my XPS 12. Like super bad. Like I can see my desktop, and I am in Metro mode. So, yes, I'm aware of the issue. It's terrible. It doesn't really affect me using the computer, and I still do like it. Comcast may be able to increase your bandwidth if you're sharing a connection, but I'm against this. Security breach imminent.
Security breach imminent.
No, it's mine. If you're giving me a monthly discount to offer up my connection to others, now we're talking. That's a good point, Nathaniel.
And I could see, but they're going to be like, you get 50 cents.
Or nothing.
Or lower.
Yeah, nothing. They have their own hotspot infrastructure. Yep. Which is what they should be doing. Tom asks, how's your experience with the Pebble Steel going? Really like the ID. It is much nicer looking, in my opinion, than the old Pebble that I had.
You did order one in bright orange.
Yeah, but it was more about the bulk
Yeah.
and the plasticiness. This has a glass front panel, which makes a big difference to readability, especially now that I've scratched the heck out of the plastic one. And I think it just looks way more professional, way more stylish. I'm very pleased so far. Using the hotspot to download torrents and not using my monthly cap. Yay! You know what? I gotta wonder because Shaw has
to be a
public
thing.
hotspots, and I wonder if it counts towards your cap because you have to log into them.
And dodging torrent stuff. If you pirate it on the public network using a Wi-Fi connection.
But if they ask you to log in with your customer ID the way that Shaw does, then it'll.
Right, good call.
That's even more trackable.
Yeah.
There isn't even any plausible deniability, like, oh, I didn't have my Wi-Fi network secured. It was someone outside my house.
Yeah.
If anyone is using my internet, I'll go completely mad. Don't want people making me... No, you don't pay for the other people to use your internet. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't count towards your bandwidth limit. I've been here for years in the UK. Allow you to opt in. Oh, so you have to opt in to use other people's hotspots. Okay.
That's kind of alright. If it starts... But you were talking, you can opt out. This is you would have to opt in.
Yeah, like I like this system.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that better.
I'm down with that.
Swallox is not okay. Hell no, especially not considering Comcast's reputation.
Yeah, it's kind of a... That's like... Yeah. You have to assume anything coming out of there is going to be terrible. You have to find why it's terrible. It's usually not that hard, though.
Let's play the Find Why It's Terrible game.
Featuring Comcast and EA.
EA hasn't done anything that evil lately, have they? They probably have.
I haven't been paying a ton of attention. There's probably been some.
All right, well, I think that's pretty much it for the WAN show, guys. Oh, right. Okay, I'll let you talk about Oculus again for a second. This was originally posted on the forum by Top War Gamer, and Facebook boss Mark Zuckerberg sees Oculus as a chance to get the device into as many hands as possible, price be damned. And he says,
There's that quote saying the Oculus Rift will sell at the lowest cost possible. There's also Palmer saying that it will sell at cost. What Palmer actually meant by selling at cost was including things like BOM cost, shipping, distribution, all that stuff. So like they're not looking to gain money off of sales of individual Oculus.
they just don't want to lose.
They're not losing money though.
Mark Zuckerberg doesn't seem to give any cares.
No.
Yeah. Lose all the money. Put Oculuses in the hands of everyone.
There's been a ton of stuff coming out. There was the interview that I had where he was talking about how tons of people are working on input stuff that's even not announced.
Right.
And then there was another interview where he actually like semi-admitted to Oculus working on other hardware that isn't the Rift.
Interesting.
They're working on their own input solutions. They're working on all that kind of stuff. They're also working on first-party games, so developing their own games under Oculus. And with recent hires, like one of the co-founders of Naughty Dog, some people are expecting some like pretty legit stuff. So interesting things coming out of there. I would highly recommend to shill for myself and tell everyone to go watch the Oculus video where I talked to Palmer about how 30 FPS gaming is pathetic.
Yeah, how cool was that for you?
That was really cool. That was awesome.
Highlight of the trip?
Yeah, probably. Before that, the highlight of the trip was Control VR, which no one is watching. But then I got to talk to Palmer, which was actually really, really cool.
Speaking of things, people should watch the shows. The show's kind of over at this point.
Oh yeah.
ASUS North America. So we just had we had a video that we created for ASUS that they just launched on their channel. So you guys should definitely go check it out. Oh, put it all the sound. Hold on, where is it? There we go. Here we go. I'm posting it in the Twitch chat right now. A couple people are saying that they watched it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's getting less views than our like totally unknown game indie content, which is like.
Oh no, that's not the one that. Oh, people are saying they watched your video.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
The one that I'm posting is me and Luke having a night battle over the opportunity to like win a notebook. So it's kind of funny.
Which is funny because we both ended up with them.
Yeah, I know.
I never realized that part of the storyline. That's awesome. What is this?
All right. Thanks for watching, guys.
You know, okay.
Oh, okay.
We should like end the stream, do our intro thing, end the stream, and then start up an after party afterwards because that's what we did last time. And I know they probably didn't, but I heard Taryn plotting.
We don't have any water this week.
We
have moldy Twinkies.
Oh my god. Okay.
We definitely have moldy Twinkies. And Minecraft weapons.
This could legitimately hurt someone.
Yeah. Okay. We're prepared. You're more prepared than me.
This could like actually damage someone.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.
Bye-bye.